Would you believe it's been a whole year now since I've been on Trading212? That may not be crazy for you, but it's crazy for me because a year has flown by. And so I had Trading212 before I created a video on it. But the first video that I created on Trading212, I started with a £300 balance and I am now at just over £900. And so it's really great to see the progress that has been made over the past year. Even though it's not the main platform that I use for investing, most of my money goes into my Vanguard ISA, it's still really nice to see that I've been able to deposit money every single month and slowly grow this portfolio over time. And so if you have been watching from the very beginning, then you would have probably seen that my portfolio has changed quite a bit from the beginning. So most of the stocks that I had at the beginning, I don't have anymore. Some of them I still do, but a lot of them I have gotten rid of along the way. I've sold for whatever reason, and even my strategy has changed. So at the beginning, I had a strategy of having 3 ETFs, 3 growth stocks, and 7 high yield dividend stocks. Now I am less strict on what I'm doing in terms of that. Essentially, I'm just investing in the stocks that I want to invest in. And the reason why I changed that strategy is because I'm already very strict with my Vanguard ISA. If you haven't watched my Vanguard videos, then it's linked above and you can check it out. But it's very much set up what I invest in and how much I invest per month. And so I decided to be a bit less strict with my Trading212 and really use it as a fun portfolio. So as I said, I've been investing about £50 per month over the past year. Some months, I think one month I didn't invest anything, and some months I maybe invested a bit more. But overall, it's not been a huge amount of money that I have been investing because I've only been investing kind of funnish money because if this portfolio was to go to zero, I wouldn't cry about it essentially. And so that's what I have mainly used my Trading212 portfolio for. So as I said earlier, my current portfolio is now at £900, which is great. Great to see the growth over the year for just investing a little bit each month. So I started with £100-ish. It's hard to kind of use this thing, but £100-ish, and I've increased over time. I had some incredible times back in February where my portfolio was up by about 30.84%. And ever since then, it's really tanked down. But I've continued to invest every single month until it's gonna eventually recover. But also, it would be hard to see it fully recovering in this because I've done quite a bit of buying and selling. So I haven't really given all of the stocks in my portfolio time to kind of recover. So I'm not necessarily going to see that. And so currently I've got about 42 pence, or I've got 42 pence in free funds, so that's not invested. And I've got £899 and 65 pence, which is invested in various funds. So currently I have 12 different investments in this portfolio, which is not far off the original 13 that I planned to have. And I still do have stocks that are just ETFs, and I have stocks that are high dividend paying, and I also have stocks that are high growth. So even though I've kind of strayed away from that strategy, I've somehow kind of kept it. So for the high dividend paying stocks, I have AT&T, which I have just over 7 shares in. You can see it's down by 4.29%, but I keep this one because it's a high dividend payer, and I maybe have a bit of nostalgia with AT&T from when I first moved to America. And so yeah, I've kept that one, but the dividends that I receive for that one are pretty good considering I don't have thousands in it. I'm quite happy to get £1.50 or so every 3 months. The other high dividend paying one that I have is Legal and General Group. And so this one I have just over 19 shares in, so a bit more shares, but a bit less money, so £54. I'm up by 6%. And this one again is considered a pretty good dividend payer, so that's why I have it in this portfolio. And my next high dividend payer is Realty Income. I have just over 2 shares in this one, and I'm up by 4.72%. This one is a monthly dividend payer, so it feels like you're getting a bit more because monthly you see something coming in. But again, obviously it's not a huge dividend because, you know, I don't have thousands in it, but still to receive 30, 40p every month I'm not going to complain. So those are my high dividend paying stocks. In terms of my ETFs, I've got a few. So I've got this Invesco NASDAQ ETF. The dotted line shows you where I bought in. And so since then it's had a fair amount of growth, which I'm happy with. Actually, a good amount of growth. So I'm up by 16.86%, which is equivalent to £7.42. And this is even taking into consideration that a couple of days ago the Nasdaq took a hit, but it's still holding up fairly well. The next ETF I have is iShares Electrical Vehicles, and I'm up by 15% on this. So it's pretty good, and I have just over 4 shares. I need to top this up. £25 is too low. And, you know, with all this petrol, diesel fiasco in our country, I think we all know where our future is heading in terms of cars. So I definitely need to top this up. Then my next ETF that I have is iShares Global Clean Energy. I've had this one pretty much from the beginning. So it's quite disappointing to see that it's in the red, considering I've had this for, I think, pretty much the whole year. So I'm down by 0.7%. which is equivalent to 38 pence, down by 38 pence, and I have just over 5 shares. I will continue to keep this one, and I will continue to invest because it's clean energy, and again, I believe this is the future, but hopefully it will do better in the long run. And the last ETF that I have is the iShares Global Water. This one is also fairly new in terms of in the last maybe 4 months or so I've had this. And it's up by 16.93%. So this is doing really well. So overall, my 4 ETFs, not too far off my initial goal of 3 ETFs. They're overall doing pretty well, apart from Global Clean Energy, which I've had the longest. But yeah, overall, they're doing fairly well and probably some of my best performers in my portfolio, which again makes a strong case for ETF or index fund investing. Now to talk about my high growth stocks. So I added Maersk, which currently is down by 1.98%, but it was up by quite a bit. This one I invested in based on a subscriber on this channel who had emailed me to tell me about it. He works in this industry, and so he was just saying, put your money in. And I don't always obviously take what people are saying, but I was happy to put money in again because this is kind of like a play portfolio for me. It's down currently, but hopefully it will go back up. So I have just over 6 shares. So I'm down by 1.98%, but I'm hoping that it will be something that is a high growth stock. And apparently the freight industry will start to boom over the next couple of years more and more. So hopefully this will be one of my high growth stocks. The next one that I've got for high growth is Rolls-Royce Holdings. And I'm up by 43%, which is incredible. I really wish that I bought more. I did recently, actually, my last time that I deposited money, I bought more. I was up by like 55%, but because I invested a bit more at a higher amount, my overall return decreased. But I'm really happy that I have a good amount of shares and I will continue to invest in this. I think I got in at a pretty good time. So you can see where Rolls-Royce used to be versus where it is now. And my hope is that it will go to where it used to be before, or at least near it. And so, yeah, this is one that I believe in to be a high growth stock for me. The next one that I have is Royal Dutch Shell. This first came as a free share, and then I put a bit of extra money in, and then very recently I've just topped it up quite a bit more. So currently I'm up by 22.81%, which is equivalent to £15. So that is not bad going. Again, I got in at a pretty good point. So the dotted line shows my average and where it is now, and it also shows you where it used to be. So again, I think this will be a high growth stock for me. Then I've got Royal Mail, which is doing the very worst out of my entire portfolio. So I'm down by 27%, but I'm gonna hold on. I probably will invest a bit more as it's quite low right now. But I'm really hoping it will pick up. Still seems to be a strong buy right now. And so I will just hold on and hopefully will reap the benefits in the future. And last but not least, I've got Tencent. This stock is having a bit of a wild ride because of what's going on in China with the gaming industry. and new regulations and laws. But Tencent, I believe, actually is in quite a few different ETFs that I looked at. I can't remember the top of my head. And they have a quite decent size holding in Tencent. So that means to me that there is definitely potential for this stock. So although my return rate is currently at 3.1%, that doesn't reflect the things that I have sold along the way or the dividends that I have received. So in total the past year, I have had a return of £60.20, and that is a mixture of selling stocks at a profit. I've never sold anything at a loss, I just won't do it, and dividend payments. So I think dividends make up £14.35 of that, and then the rest, so around £46 of that, is just from selling stocks at a profit. So within a year, for a fairly small size beginner's portfolio, I would say that really isn't bad going. So moving forward, I don't think I'm going to do monthly Trading212 or free trade updates for now. I think I'm going to spread them out a bit more. I pay attention to my YouTube analytics and they don't seem to be being watched as much, and so I'm taking that as people aren't enjoying the content as much, which is totally fine. So I'm shifting from this for a bit. I will still be doing my Vanguard portfolio updates every month, but for now I will just cool off on these updates, and I will just maybe do an update every 3 months or so. So that'll be the last one that you see for a while. But do let me know below in the comments if you enjoyed this video, and of course hit that like button also if you enjoyed it. And so thank you so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video real soon.